So I've been noticing lately that braids are getting smaller and smaller, and while I love big fluffy braids, I wanted to play with the idea of tiny braids and see what I could come up with. So these are what I came up with. I love these. They'd be great for everybody, but especially those of you with finer, thinner hair, I think you'll love these. So let's get started. Our first braid is this little one right on your part line. So you're gonna start out by making a side part. You could do super deep side part or kind of a more gentle one like I did. Then you're gonna grab a section of hair from right at the front of that part. And you're gonna start braiding normally. And what I did was I actually braided straight up like a unicorn horn so I could get that braid really close to my head. And then after I did a couple stitches of the braid, I turned it back towards the back of my part. And then every now and then I would just pick up a little piece of hair as if you were doing a French braid or a Dutch braid actually in this case. And I would braid it in just to kind of anchor the braid in place. And then keep braiding a couple of times normally. Then pick up just a little bit more hair to anchor the braid, then braid a couple times normally until I reached the back of my part. Once I got to the end of the part, I just braided for a couple of inches normally. So basically it's just a normal braid and occasionally you pick up some more hair, and that makes it a little easier than trying to do like a proper Dutch braid. Then you're just gonna move the hair at the top out of the way and bobby pin your hair right underneath that. That way it hides the end of the braid really well and you kind of have this disappearing braid right on your part. You can make this even smaller if you wanted to, but I like how this looks. I think it's a really cool way to kind of spice up a hairstyle, and I don't know, it was super fun. So now let's get on to braid number 2. So we're gonna make 4 mini braids for this one. You're gonna start right next to your hairline and braid that all the way down and then just hold your place at the end of the braid. You can use an elastic or a bobby pin. I used a bobby pin and you will see me do that a lot in this tutorial. The next braid is the exact same as the first one, just on the other side of your part. And then for braid number 3, you're just gonna go a couple of inches back from your first braid and braid all the way down and hold your place. Then do the same thing on the other side. So you have 2 braids on each side which are kind of separated just a little bit. So now we get to pull them all together. So you're gonna take the ones that are up at the front first, pull those back, and secure them with an elastic. And then you're just gonna grab the last 2 braids that we have left and pull those back, secure those with an elastic a little farther down than the first elastic. And there you have the first bit of our hairstyle. And if you wanted to, you could just stop right there. It's actually kind of cute. But I'm gonna add in 2 more braids. I'm just gonna do a braid on kind of either side of my hair. I'm braiding down with kind of a bigger section than I did for the others and teasing it to hold it in place. Then I'm gonna do that on the other side, just another braid that's identical to the first one, and then tease it to hold it in place. I also decided to add little claw clips to the underside of the braid so it would hold really well, but you didn't have to have that like elastic at the end of it. And that's the hairstyle. You can totally have this bohemian look even if you don't have huge fluffy braids. So now we're on to number 3. This one's super quick and easy. You're just gonna grab a section from right next to your hairline on either side of your head. I did right above my ears, and then braid both of those sections all the way down and hold the end with a bobby pin or an elastic. Then pull them back and you're going to tie them in a knot. So I just did 1/2 knot and then tightened it, and then I did one more, just like you're tying your shoe, like no big deal. Another 1/2 knot, and then I used a claw clip on the underside of the knot to hold it in place. Took those bobby pins out and unraveled the ends, and that is it for this hairstyle. It's super easy and a really nice way to just quickly dress up your hair. And now we're on to this kind of side hairstyle for braid number 4. Super easy. You're just gonna grab one little piece of hair next to your part and braid all the way down, securing it with, again, a bobby pin. Then I'm going to move the hair that's next to it out of the way while I slide the braid and any hair that's left over my ears underneath that hair, and I'm going to pin it in place right there. And that way you get this kind of like asymmetrical hairstyle with just a little tiny braid thrown in. I just like the extra little touch. And now for one of my favorites. You're going to start by taking a small section of hair right next to your part and braid that all the way down. I did it close to my hairline, but I did leave some hair framing my face. Then you're going to separate your hair in half, and the top half we're going to put into a little half updo. First, I'm going to kind of fluff the hair around my crown, let out some little pieces around my face, and then I'm putting this into an elastic. And then to give the little bun in the back, I'm going to tie my hair in a knot, just a normal, simple knot. Then I'm taking the back of the knot that's closest to my head and just pushing it up against my head, and I'm going to pin that in place right there. And finally, I'm just going to add one more little braid into the ends of my hair. You could do a lot of those, or you could just skip it. And that's it for this hairstyle. I love that it's so bohemian and messy, but still put together. I don't know, I just really love this one. And now for tiny braid number 6. You're gonna start by kind of pulling your hair up and grabbing a section of hair from either side of the nape of your neck. Then go ahead and put the rest of your hair up and into a high ponytail. And then you're going to make your hair into a bun. Now you can see here I'm making it into a tight bun. I later went and made it into a more fluffy bun because I liked that look better. Then starting with one of your sections at the nape of your neck, you're going to go ahead and braid that all the way down and secure that with a bobby pin or an elastic, and then do the same thing on the other side. And now all you have to do is make an X with those braids. So I'm taking the one from the left and I'm wrapping it around the right so it makes that kind of diagonal line, and I'm pinning that in place. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, going from the right to the left. And that's it for this hairstyle. I think that it's a nice way just to add some extra flair to an average bun, and it can probably help control baby hairs too, so that's cool. And now we're on to our final braid, which is one of my favorites as well. So you're gonna make 3 little tiny braids. I started on my part kind of close to my hairline, then went a couple inches back, made braid number 2, and then I made number 3 a couple inches back from that. Then you're just gonna pull everything into a ponytail, fluff up the ponytail, let some little baby hairs free if you want to, and then go ahead and secure it with an elastic. But on your very last time pulling it through, don't pull your hair all the way through. Instead, leave it in a loop and kind of mess it up with your fingers. And that is it for this hairstyle. I love it, super, super fast and very pretty. And that is it for my tiny braids. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to put this together. Make sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah! Bye!